Okay, so next we are going to discuss on the second aspects of personality in social interaction, which is we look into the second mechanism, which is evocation. So under evocation, we're going to discuss how someone's personality can create others to react or to respond in a certain way. Okay, we are going to look at how a personality characteristics of a person going to elicit or evocate aggression and hostility in others. How evocation can elicit or can make other people's respond with anger and upset others, and how some type of personality would be able to create a situation whereby the other person will feel likable, okay, pleasure and pain. And lastly, we're going to look how people would conform to the expectation of their personality. Okay, so all of these we are going to discuss under this subtopic of evocation. But firstly, what is evocation? Okay, evocation, like I mentioned, is the second key process by which personality can affect social interaction. So what is evocation? Evocation is the ways, okay, the ways in which features of personality elicit reaction from others. What elicit means? Okay, elicit means here, if for certain personality, okay, for certain characteristic, for certain behavior, it makes others respond, it makes others react in certain way. Okay, I give you example. Sometimes, okay, a negative example first. Okay, sometimes when you look at certain people with a certain character, you feel that you don't feel comfortable with those kind of character, you don't like it. Okay, what happened to you is you react negatively to the persons. You usually open, okay, you are usually very friendly, you are usually very talkative, okay, you are usually very happy-go-lucky persons. But when these persons, when you meet this type of people who, you know, you feel that they are arrogant, they look down on others, you yourself behave in a way that because of that character, because of the behavior of that person, it makes you behave in a hostile way. You show that you don't like him, okay, with your facial expression, with your eyes, okay, with your word that you use, okay. Sometimes we are not sarcastic, but because the other people, the other person, they are so intimidating, they are so arrogant, it makes us feel like, oh God, we cannot stand those kind of people. So that is an example of evocation. On the other hand, people with a very likable personality, they respect others, they are humble, they like to greet us, they like to compliment us, they ask about our well-being, they ask about our situation of that particular day, in a way that we are just normal, we don't really we don't really friendly actually, but because of that person personality, because of that person behavior, because of that person characteristic, it made us somehow feel comfortable, it made us somehow like to open up. Even we meet him or her for the first time, excuse me, we would be able to share our experience, to share our feelings with that person. So that is an example of evocation. Okay, the ways in which features of personality elicit specific reaction from others. Okay, example of the process of evocation at work, a personality characteristic such as activity levels evokes a predictable set of social responses from others. Okay, for example, hostility and power struggles. Okay, I give you examples. Okay, among your clique, okay, your close friends, okay, in your hostel, for example, you're just normal, you're not really diligent or hardworking or study early kind of, like you're just a normal person. When there are exams, then you will do revision, you will do your studies and everything. But if there is no test, there is no exams, you will, you know, make use of your times, play around, watching movies, play video games and etc. But suddenly new friends come in, new roommates come in, and these roommates will always study, will always make revision before class, after class. It somehow makes you study as well. Okay, it somehow makes you feel irritated. Okay, the behavior of that person, the personality of that person makes you feel that way. That is an example of evocation. Okay, under evocation, most of the research has focused on aggression. Okay, how sometimes you are not aggressive person. However, because of the personality of other persons, it makes you behave, or it makes you react in aggressive way. Okay, so most of the research focus in this aggression and hostility. So in these subtopics, in this video, we are going to discuss how certain personality can create evocation in the eyes of aggression and evocation of hostility of others. Okay, evocation of anger and upset in partners. Okay, evocations of likability, pleasure and pain, and lastly, evocation through expectancy, confirmation. Okay, aggression and the evocation of hostility. Aggressive people, they evoke hostility from others. Okay, when you meet someone who like to shout, like to express their anger, like to show aggression, like to treat others with physical force, for example. Okay, what happened? Other people will show some hostility to this kind of aggressive person. So aggressions evoke hostilities, acceptance or hostility reception from other people. Okay, according to hostile attributional bias. Okay, it might be true, it might be wrong. Okay, hostile attributional bias. People have the tendency to infer hostile intent on the part of others in the face of uncertain behavior from them, especially if the persons demonstrate or if the person express their aggressions. Okay, why? Because people expect others to be hostile. Okay, aggressive people treat others aggressively. Okay, so sometimes even people with a high level of aggressions, they are not necessarily treat other people hostile in terms of aggressively, but there are certain aspect that triggers their aggression. Okay, triggers them to make so that they feel angry towards certain aspect or certain people. However, when they meet another aggressive person, okay, they will respond aggressively as well. So the aggression showed by other persons will elicit the person's own aggression or aggression behavior as well. Okay, people treated aggressively, they tend to aggress back. Okay, they tend to respond aggressively back to the persons who show aggressions to them. Thus, hostility is evoked from others by an aggressive person. Why people respond hostilely? Okay, they respond. Okay, they don't really show that they welcome the persons. Okay, they don't like the person. They look at you. Okay, they stare at you. They shows that they don't like you. Why they respond in this kind of thing? Okay, in this hostile kind of response, because the person show aggression. Okay, so that is evocations of hostility. So evocation, okay, personality can also evoke anger and upsets. Okay, in others as well as in our partners, even though they have been with us for quite some time. Okay, a person can perform actions that cause emotional responses in a partner. Okay, a person can elicit action from others that in turn upset the original eliciter. Okay, this always happen. Okay, most of you are not yet married. Okay, which is okay. Okay, if you, I think even you know that. Okay, in a household, wife will always hold more power as compared to the husband. Okay, so what happened? Okay, let's think about a situation. For example, there are issues in the household, and then when the husband comes back, the wife will ask, why you don't do this? Okay, and then they expect the husband to respond in a way that will satisfy their their anger or their inquiry, etc. So what happened? Most of the time, the husband will keep quiet. Okay, they do not respond. They ignore the wife. So what happened? The behavior of the husband elicit more anger and more upset from the wife. Okay, why? Because the husband are basically do not know what to do. If they respond, they know that the wife will get, they will get scolded by the wife. If they are not respond, the same thing will happen. Okay, because you will never know what are the answers required from by the wife, okay, from the husband. Okay, so whatever the husband do, they will always elicit more mumbling, bubbling by the wife. Okay, there's an examples of evocation of anger and upset in partners. Okay, why? Because the action, okay, actually just a questions. Okay, but you know that with that hostile reception by the wife, you know that if you answer it A, it will be your fault. If you don't answer it, it will be your fault. If you answer it B, it will be your fault as well. Okay, that's why most of the time husband keep quiet. Okay, a study by Bass in 1991. There is a role of personality on the evocation of anger and upset in married couples. Okay, personality does play a role on why husband or why wife get angry or upset with their husband, and the other way around, vice versa. So they assess personality characteristic of husband and wife. Okay, they assess the personality of husband and wife. So they found that the strongest predictors of a spouse anger are low agreeableness and low emotional stability, which is emotional instability. So why most of the time husband and wife get into quarrel, okay, between each other, okay, get into arguments, okay, disagreements, because they are low in agreeableness and emotional instability. So if you want to get married, so make sure that you are high in agreeableness and you are emotionally stable. Okay, so next, our personality can evocate and can elicit likability, pleasure and pain. Okay, there are people who are gifted with a very positive and very motivated, inspirational types of personality. Everyone like them. Okay, everyone like them. When they go to meet people, people like them. Okay, people like to talk to them. People feel comfortable with them. Okay, being liked by others is also linked with higher levels of adjustment. Higher level of adjustment, higher levels of mental health, and higher levels of academic performance. So agreeableness, again, agreeableness, the sociable component of extraversion. Okay, extraversions, but the focus is the sociable component of extraversions, and the honesty, humility factor evoke likability in others. Okay, so if you find that your friends who have a very special personality characteristic, that people love him, people love her, people like them, okay, so these friends, okay, or you yourself have high in agreeableness, okay, have the social components of extraversions, and they have this honesty and humility factor in themselves. So people with these qualities, they evoke pleasure in others. People like them, and leading to their liking. Okay, they like them, they like their personality. However, on the other hand, people low on agreeableness and low in honesty, humility, they evoke pain in others. People who are arrogant, people who are always look down on others, okay, they evoke pain and displeasure in others. Okay, and lastly, evocations through expectancy confirmation. So what is expectancy confirmation? We need to understand this first before we relate back to evocation. Expectancy confirmation refers to people's belief about the personality characteristics of others, cause them to evoke in others action that are consistent with the initial beliefs. Okay, some would call this as the prophecy fulfillment. Okay, people predict that you will be that way, and somehow you behave in accordance to their prediction. Okay, in accordance to their prophecy. Okay, prophecy fulfillment. Okay, so why self-prophecy fulfillment or expectancy confirmation happen? Say for example, you are coming from a family with a record or history of aggression. Okay, your father have, you know, some sort of aggressive or aggression cases. Okay, your older brother, okay, your your older sisters have those kind of experience or history. So people expect that, oh, this is the son of that guy, this is the daughter of that guy, or that guy, so he might be also aggressive. So even though you originally not aggressive person, but when people are treating you like that, people are thinking like that, okay, people are scrutinizing your actions, one way or another, somehow you also behave in accordance to their expectation, in accordance to their predictions. So you might have already committing expectancy confirmation. So according to Snyder and Swan, people beliefs led them to behave in aggressive manner towards an unsuspecting target, okay, which made the target behave in a more aggressive manner, confirming to the initial beliefs. So people's belief, people's treatment of others, so because of the family legacy, because of their expectations, because of their family history, sometimes could make the person behave in the same way as well. So these four are the cases, are the examples whereby some personality or one's personality can elicit, can provoke, can trigger others respond in specific way because of their personality, because of their action, because of their behavior.